Prepare to look up. Between fascinating genetics and world records, these exceptional women dominate the world through their stature and courage. Discover 10 incredible destinies that defy the norm and redefine with elegance the true notion of human greatness. Number 10. Margot Dydek, the Polish star of the hardwood. Małgorzata Dydek, whom the whole world came to love under the name Margot Dydek, remains a legendary figure in women's sports. With an impressive height of 2.18 meters, she didn't just dominate her opponents with her stature, but also with exceptional technical talent. Born in 1974 in Warsaw, Poland, her height was not the result of a hormonal imbalance, but of remarkable family genetics. Her two sisters were also very tall, although Margot surpassed them all. Her professional career took her from the most prestigious European clubs to the ultimate achievement, the WNBA in the United States. As the first overall pick in the 1998 draft, she wore the colors of the Utah Stars, the Connecticut Sun, and the Los Angeles Sparks. Her career record of 877 blocks remains, even today, an insurmountable mountain for most players. Beyond the statistics, Margot was nicknamed the Gentle Giant. Her kindness, modesty, and constant smile made her a beloved teammate and a perfect ambassador for basketball. Tragically, her life was cut short prematurely in 2011 at the age of 37. She leaves behind the image of a woman who knew how to transform her difference into an unmatched athletic and human strength, proving that one can be a giant on the court while remaining humble in life. Number 9. Trijntje Kiever, a silhouette across the centuries. The story of Trijntje Kiever transports us to the 17th century Netherlands, a time when modern science was only in its infancy. Born in 1616 in the town of Edam, Trijntje went down in history as one of the tallest women ever recorded, with an estimated height of 2.60 meters. Her destiny was marked by the curiosity she aroused. Her parents, modest people, took her to local fairs so the public could admire her prodigious stature. At the age of 9, records indicate she already measured over 2 meters. It is even said that she was presented to kings and nobles, including the King of Bohemia, who was astounded by this child who towered over all the adults in the court. Unfortunately, this extreme gigantism subjected her cardiovascular system and joints to an unbearable strain. Trijntje passed away at the age of only 17 in 1633. Today, the Edam Museum preserves a life-size portrait of the young girl, as well as her massive shoes, offering a tangible and moving testament to her short but memorable existence. Her story is that of an era when the extraordinary was often perceived as a miracle or a marvel, making her an eternal icon of the town of Edam. Number 8. Ulyana Semyonova, the absolute domination of Riga. Ulyana Semyonova is not only one of the tallest athletes in history, with her height of 2.13 meters, she is also one of the most decorated. Born in 1952 in Latvia, then part of the Soviet Union, she redefined the center position in basketball. During the 1970s and 1980s, facing Ulyana was a nearly impossible mission. With her team, TTT Riga, she won 15 USSR championship titles and 11 European Cups. On the international stage, her track record is staggering. 2 Olympic gold medals, 1976 and 1980, and 3 World Championship titles. Her physical strength was complemented by a record shoe size 58 EU, which provided her with unparalleled stability and rebounding power. Yet, behind this fierce competitor hid a woman of great generosity. After her retirement, she dedicated her life to helping struggling former Latvian athletes through a social fund. In 1993, she became the first non-American woman to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, confirming that her influence extended far beyond the borders of Europe. Ulyana remains a living legend, an example of discipline, and a national symbol for Latvia. Number 7. Molly Duongdi, resilience in the face of illness. Molly Duongdi, originally from Thailand, long held the title of the tallest woman in her country, reaching 2.12 meters. Unlike athletes for whom height is an advantage, Molly's growth was the result of a benign tumor on her pituitary gland. This condition, although treatable today, caused her continuous and uncontrollable growth from childhood. At school, her physical difference often exposed her to isolation, but Molly always demonstrated an admirable strength of character. Her daily life was a battle against the side effects of gigantism: failing vision due to the tumor's pressure on her optic nerves, chronic pain, and intense cardiac fatigue. Despite these hardships, Molly remained a gentle young woman, very close to her family in the rural province of Trot. She dreamed of a normal life, far from cameras and public curiosity. In 2016, at the age of 24, she succumbed to health complications. Her story touched the hearts of millions of people in Thailand and beyond, serving as a reminder of the fragility of life and the courage required to live with such a rare and visible medical condition. Molly was not just a statistical curiosity. She was a young woman seeking dignity and love in a body that would not stop growing. Number 6. Caroline Wells, wearing her height with pride. In modern Germany, Caroline Wells is a figure who commands respect, not only for her 2.06 meters, but for her confidence. Born in 1986 in Cologne, she quickly realized that her height would set her apart. Rather than hiding, she chose to embrace her uniqueness. Caroline became a recognized model and media personality, using her platform to show that being outside the norm can also be synonymous with elegance and success. Caroline's journey has not been without its challenges. Finding clothes and shoes in her size, or simply sitting comfortably on public transport, requires constant planning. She has often spoken of the psychological difficulty of managing the gazes of passers-by, which sometimes oscillate between admiration and indiscretion. However, by putting herself out there with confidence, she has become a role model for many tall young girls who struggle with their body image. She advocates for self-acceptance and proves that beauty does not lie in conformity, but in authenticity. Caroline continues to live and work in Germany, remaining one of the tallest and most inspiring women in Western Europe. Number 5. Ekaterina Lysina, records and runways. Ekaterina Lysina is a fascinating blend of athletic discipline and glamour. This 2.05-meter-tall Russian first found fame on the basketball courts, notably winning a bronze medal at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. But after retiring from sports, she decided to conquer another world: fashion. She officially holds the Guinness World Record for the longest legs on a woman, with an incredible measurement of 132 centimeters. Her transition from sports to modeling was a bold choice. Ekaterina had to relearn how to move, walk the runway, and pose, all while highlighting her unique proportions. Today, she is one of the most highly sought-after models for artistic visual projects that play on perspective and scale. Highly active on social media, she regularly communicates with her fans about the importance of body positivity. She explains that her height, once a source of childhood teasing, is now her greatest asset. As a mother and entrepreneur, she shows that one can break glass ceilings, and sometimes door frames, to achieve their wildest dreams. Number 4. Elizabeth, the dignity of a local icon. Elizabeth's story brings us back to the very essence of humanity. Although less documented by international media than certain athletes, Elizabeth was a central figure in her village. Her height, which far exceeded that of all the men and women in her community, made her a person who was naturally respected. In many rural cultures, such stature is sometimes perceived as a sign of protection or a blessing. Behind her imposing presence lay a protective soul. Elizabeth was known for her wisdom and her ability to help others. Her story perfectly illustrates how a physical difference can be harmoniously integrated into a community when it is met with kindness. She never sought worldwide fame, preferring the respect of her neighbors. Her life teaches us that a person's greatness is not only measured in centimeters on a height chart, but by the positive impact they leave on those around them. She remains a symbol of quiet strength and courage, a woman who lived her life with natural grace despite the obvious logistical challenges posed by her height. Number 3. Zainab Bibi, a journey toward acceptance. Zainab Bibi lived a life of profound contrasts. Born in Pakistan, where she measured approximately 2.18 meters, she had to face social prejudice and constant harassment due to her unusual height. In her home country, her life was marked by isolation and the difficulty of finding a place in a society that offered her little support. In search of a more dignified life, she made the courageous decision to seek asylum in the United Kingdom. This journey was not merely geographic, it was a quest for respect. In Great Britain, Zainab found a more understanding environment and was able to receive medical care adapted to her condition. She became a media curiosity, but this time, She was able to use the attention to tell her story and raise public awareness about the difficulties faced by extremely tall people in developing countries. Although she passed away in 2018, her legacy endures. Zainab proved that the pursuit of happiness and acceptance is worth every sacrifice. Her story is a powerful reminder that behind every height record lies a human being with feelings, dreams, and the fundamental need to be treated with humanity. Number 2. Rumaisa Gelgi, transforming a syndrome into success. Rumaisa Gelgi currently holds the title of the tallest living woman in the world, standing at 2.15 meters. Originally from Turkey, her condition is linked to Weaver syndrome, a rare genetic mutation. What makes Rumaisa exceptional is not just her height, but her desire to educate the world. Instead of seeing her condition as a burden, she uses it as an advocacy tool. Rumaisa often uses a wheelchair or a walker to get around due to the physical constraints of Weaver syndrome, but her mind possesses flawless agility. She is a software developer and uses digital platforms to promote the inclusion of people with disabilities. In 2022, she made headlines by taking her first airplane flight to San Francisco. To do so, Turkish Airlines had to modify 6 seats into a special stretcher to allow her to travel. Rumaisa shows the world that physical barriers are merely logistical obstacles that can be overcome with innovation and determination. She is a source of inspiration for anyone who feels different, proving that you can be on top of the world while keeping your feet on the ground. Number 1. Macy Curran, the voice of the new generation. Macy Curran, a young Texan standing 2.08 meters tall, represents the new generation of women who refuse to apologize for the space they occupy. She holds the world record for the longest legs on a teenager, with a left leg measuring over 135 centimeters. For Macy, fame arrived via social media, where she shares her daily life with humor and sincerity. She doesn't hide any of the inconveniences, bumping her head on door frames, the difficulty of finding pants in her size, or the sometimes inappropriate comments on TikTok. Yet, Macy has transformed these challenges into a personal brand of tall pride. She actively encourages young girls not to slouch to appear shorter, but rather to stand up straight. Through her videos, she deconstructs traditional beauty standards and shows that self-confidence is the most important accessory. Macy is only at the beginning of her journey, but she is already an icon of empowerment, proving that what makes you different is exactly what makes you unforgettable. Number 11. In Dusty Creek, Ilara, nicknamed the Giantess of the West, commanded respect. It is said she was the first black woman in the world to reach such a phenomenal stature. Although her height was never officially verified, legend speaks of 2.69 meters. Under her protective gaze, the residents felt safe. She was not just a curiosity, but the benevolent pillar of a community that admired her. These exceptional destinies remind us that greatness is not merely measured in centimeters, but by the strength of the spirit. Thank you for sharing this journey through the extraordinary. Don't forget to celebrate your own uniqueness. See you soon for new discoveries.